Scream 2022 is directed by Bettinelli-Oplin and Tyler Gillett, and stars Neve Campbell, Jenna Ortega, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Minnette, Melissa Barrera, and Quaid. And I am somewhat of a Scream fan. I really love the first movie. My mom and my dad are both very good, big fans of Scream. So going in, I was interested. I didn't really know what this film was. I knew it wasn't a reboot. I don't know. I was looking forward to seeing it. And I wanted to see what all the hype was about, because I heard a lot of really good things about this film, and I heard that a lot of people were calling it the best Scream sequel. So I was very curious and interested how it was going to play out, especially in a time like this. Scream is a very meta franchise. It's about the way we react to media. It's about fandom and meaning of horror and horror tropes, and it's about a lot of things, and that was the most appealing thing about Scream at the time when it was first released. So I was looking forward to seeing what they were going to do, and I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know why this film was dumped in January, but it was a nice surprise for me. It was very well done. It was very well directed. Everyone did an amazing job, and I really enjoyed myself. It's a very fun horror movie, and it knows exactly what it is, and it touches on a lot of things that I personally relate to. Certain experiences that I've had with specific fandoms, to be exact, and it hit a little too close to home for me, because I know people who act like the people this film is so fond of making fun of, which is hilarious, and I really, really enjoyed it. No spoilers during this review, of course, but with all that being said, let's get into the good. The first thing I want to talk about is Ghostface is awesome. He is so menacing in this film. He's scary, he's smart, he knows what people will fall for, and he takes those things to his advantage, and it's really it's actually kind of horrifying. There is a surprising amount of really suspenseful scenes in this movie, which I was not expecting, because Scream is more of a comedy than it is a horror movie. At least to me it was. So having that and seeing how intense it was at times, it was a big surprise. Another thing I want to point out is characters are very well developed. I really cared about most of them. There were a few who were just obviously going to get killed, and that's all they were there for, was to get killed. The characters you follow throughout this film are very interesting and have a lot of interesting things to do. And it doesn't just feel like they're there just to be killed. It feels like they have a little bit of weight to them. And it feels like there is more to them than just teenagers who like to fuck, which is a lot of slashers. So it was really refreshing seeing that, and it was cool seeing some new and old faces, and it was awesome. I want to talk about some of these performances, because there are a few standouts. First I want to talk about is Melissa Barrera. She was an amazing lead. She did a fantastic job. I really was into her character. There were things that are revealed towards the end of the first act that I didn't expect to see, and it was interesting. It's cool how they related a lot of things back to the original, and I'm not going to tell you how, but it does it in a way that feels serviceable and new at the same time. It feels fresh. Another very big standout performance is from Quaid. He has been killing it recently. His performance in The Boys, he's awesome in that show, and he's amazing here. He is very charismatic and funny, and he works well with all the actors here. But probably my favorite performance in this movie, of course, Courtney Cox is amazing, and it was awesome seeing Neve Campbell back as Sidney Prescott. That was all awesome. But the biggest standout for me was David Arquette as Dewey. He was awesome. I really love seeing him in this film, and he was extremely likable, and it felt like his character had a lot of things that they kind of left hanging. The film has a really good way of making you care about him. and they leave some things hanging, but it's for the better, and it makes me love the movie's ambitions more, and it makes me appreciate how intense and suspenseful this film is. You know, it's a film where really anything can happen, and it definitely shows that, and it's fresh. It's fresh to see that there are actual stakes in a horror movie like this, especially a horror movie that's also a comedy. So it was interesting. I really really enjoyed it. Another thing that people have been talking about is how meta this film is. Yes, it is extremely meta to the point where it's sickening. I don't think so. I don't personally think so. I think it is the right kind of meta. It is the right amount of meta. It never goes overboard. And when it is talking about different movies and referencing different movies, it either feels vital to the storytelling of the film, where they talk about those films to be like, oh, okay, this is how we survived this horror film. Or, sometimes they make some jokes. But it never really goes overboard. The way it connects to the themes of the film, again, I relate to a lot. So it was really, really cool and interesting seeing that. And with that, we have one of the best Scream sequels out there. I really like the first one. That'll always be my favorite. And I really love Scream 2. This is probably my third favorite Scream movie. They did a fantastic job here. And it was nice to have a movie that feels so close to Wes Craven's original source material. Now that the good are out of the way, let's get into the bad. Really my only complaint with this film, and this is actually, I don't even really know if this is necessarily a horrible or bad thing. It's more of a nitpick than anything else. The film goes by extremely fast. There's a very brisk pace. It is so quick to the point where I didn't even know the second act had ended until the third act was like, I don't know, 5 minutes in. So it was extremely quick, very brisk pace. And I do wish there was at least 5 to 10 minutes more for the second act. I feel like there just needed to be a little more build up to a specific event that happened. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed this film. This film is a surprise, a very surprising January release, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope the fans of Scream really enjoy it like I did. I think a lot of people are going to dig this movie, and there are also going to be some people who don't like it because they are the people this film is trying to talk about. So, with all that being said, guys, I'm going to give you my grade now. Again, I had a lot of fun with Scream. I think it is a really refreshing return to form for this franchise, and I do think that it is a fresh and original take on a series that a lot of people really love. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Scream 5 an A-. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of this movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I love talking films all the time. And until then, guys, I will see you in the next video.